Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'd like to do a little check on this fusion project. It's the linden tree fusion, and well, I tied it quite heavily in the beginning of the spring last year, so I want to see what's going on. I don't think there's really fusion, but anyway, I'm going to loosen this all and then see what I can do to improve the whole project, see if there are dead parts, and try to tight it another way so that it's not always the same portions of the trees that are under pressure, because they might become constricted while the other parts are growing, and so we would have some taper problems. So let's do this. So before I'm untangling the seed of a field maple here. Yeah. Before I'm untangling something, I'm going to remove all the weeds, because I want this to be clean so that I don't have to do that in spring. Because even if you are removing weeds, well, you are disturbing the roots. And if you can avoid disturbing roots in the growing season, it's always better. So I need to remove these weeds now, and maybe remove the moss, because I'd like to have a peek at the roots. And this moss can of course immediately be replaced or put back. It's important to keep your trees free from weeds, but it's not always easy. In the growing season, they grow faster than you can react. Okay, so that's okay. So now let's scrape away some of this soil to see how the roots are. So in order not to spill the soil all over the place, I'm working in this tray. And I remember that I planted it quite deep, but still I want to see what's going on. And because the tree is not growing now, well, he won't care too much. And this way I can get rid of the last parts of weeds and moss that I do not need. Yeah. Just going to remove one top centimeter. And that will do. But still no roots really visible. So it means that I should dig deeper, but I'm not gonna do that. Well, I have some roots appearing here. You can see them, I guess. Maybe if I brush this away, it will become more obvious. Another reason why it is a good thing to do that with linden trees is that they tend to form new growth at the base. And as you see, here is a little bud, which is interesting. If it grows, it could very well be included in the fusion. Here we have two little shoots that appeared last year, so I can use them. Here's another. I don't think this is really an interesting one regarding the fusion, but it might become one day. Here is another bud. You see, it's interesting to know that, because you can use this features of this kind of tree to make it grow like you want it to grow. Okay, so it's definitely not bad. We have some new roots here. So I'll cover these up. Maybe I just put the old soil back, or I leave it a little more like this. Of course, everyone will tell you that it's not okay to have your soil 1 centimeter under the lip of the pot, but this is not a case of making a show tree, so we do not matter. We do not care, it does not matter. That's what I meant. Okay, so going to cut this loose now. So as you see, there were quite a bits of new growth, but unfortunately, well, it would be perfect if they stay exactly where you want the tree to fuse, but they don't do that, so that's why I need to get this loose, and I want to include this new growth so that it can stay there for the winter. See this, if I can gently push it here, it would help. Of course, might as well break. So of course still no fusion, but the trees stay where they are supposed to stay, so that's a good start. If you remember last video on this tree, it was a real struggle to get them where we wanted them. So I'm going to untangle this and I'll be right back. Well, I didn't expect it, but the trees have fused. Well, 2 of them did. See the top part here, it's fused, so well, that's something that I cannot well, I can undo it, of course, but which I will not undo. So I'm going to tie this with raffia because I don't want it to come loose. I think it is a very good place for these trees to fuse, and I might do some directional pruning. So yeah, let's take some raffia and already do this. So now that I know that this top part is fused, can make a decision here. So this I will remove so that this becomes a part of the crown. What I removed was well, growing to the interior, so it was not interesting. I'm going to remove also the terminal buds on this part of the tree because I'd like to have some more, and I'm going to select the buds that are pointing in the right direction. Here I have a little part that is dead, so I remove that. So let's see for the rest. Okay, so I need to remove this raffia also. It's the thing that's kept everything together, and this is not easy to cut. And I have this piece of plastic here that it's making it a little more difficult to access it. This tree is loose. I noticed this is loose, so it's not good. Maybe I can change this a little still. I might be able to dig this in a little deeper, and this way this shoot might become interesting because it could, I say it could, I'm not sure it will, it could just sprout here and grow new roots which will help me fill this ugly root hole here. So if I can put this like that, it's going to be much better. So I just have to dig some more and bury this a little, and be sure to press it down when I am putting some wire on it. For the rest, this part is not really interesting. I'm not even sure it's alive, so I'm going to scratch some. No, it's just alive. This part is alive, so I must get rid of this stump. I need some bigger pliers for that. So going to do this in a few steps because I want to use the concave cutters. See, this is dead. If you can do it in 3 times, it's okay. In 10 times, it's also okay. But take your time to do these things. So we're coming to the living part. Just nibble everything away that you don't want. I think this is going to be good. There's some dead material here too, which oh no, that's a piece of wood that I put there just to give it some more width. So this thing is okay, it's alive, and there's one healthy root. Maybe it's better to try to get it out and reposition this completely, so that the root that I have here can be used. I don't think that I have a lot of choice here. It will have to stay in this position, and the gap will have to be filled by this one. In time it will. So that's good. So I think that the best thing I can do is try to tie this all together now. Make sure that every new little shoot that grew this year is nicely included in this wiring. The lower part is okay. An interesting thing here is that I have a big trunk, and it has two branches here. One will go into this part of the fusion, one will become a branch. This one will be in the fusion here, and here in the back I have a little one that will become a branch, like so. This will become a branch. Here I will have two. No, this is coming here, and so this might become a branch somewhere here in the back, and then this should become a branch, a very low one, just let it, maybe sacrificial, I don't know, and this can become a branch in the front, because it's good to have some green in the front of a naturalistic tree, because, well, all this thing that you should always see the trunk, it's ridiculous. If you go to the forest, well, you won't see that. So I'm not doing that stuff anymore. So I'm going to tie this all up, and well, it's not really interesting, and it's gonna be quite difficult and getting on my nerve, and I'm going to swear and horrible things like that. So I'll do this off camera, and I'll see you in a couple of seconds. So everything that I wanted is wrapped now, and I found some leftovers of wire here, and I'm going to give the tree a very basic wiring so that I know where all the branches are supposed to go. the thicker ones, of course. Now I'm going to make a extra curve here to anchor it properly. So just basic wiring. I think I'm going to remove this wire very soon in spring. Very, very soon. Because it will bite in very fast. So I'm even not going to cut back all these branches that are too long. All these wires that are too long, because the only purpose they will serve is to give me an idea of where this is all going. Okay, this is good, but I gotta wire it. Let's see. So I just need a little wire here to push this one down, and if I manage to make one little twist, it's more than enough. Okay, so obviously this is going to be too long. And this is a dead stump. So, well, I think it is wired now. This is dead. So I'm going to position the branches now, and therefore I'm going to stand next to the... So if I look at the tree from this direction, I think it's not that interesting. So it's a little better like so. So I want this branch to come in the front. This one here. But also a little in the front. And maybe this bud can provide us with a branch going that way. So that means that I'm not going to use this. This is okay, this just has to grow. I have some backing branching here, so maybe like this. This one can come here. This is okay, this is okay. Maybe this one in that direction, but I think that's kind of obvious. So maybe just a little wire to push it against the trunk. And one twist will do, and I can wire the branch in the back here. So of course this is not world-class wiring, and of course I do not care for that. Going to remove this. and I think this is gonna be okay. Because the tree fused here, I feel quite confident of maybe removing this stump, but not completely. I want to be careful for dieback. So that's it. All the little new shoots, as you can see, are now included in the fusion, will grow and they will thicken, and yeah, this looks quite okay. So this is the little tree now. Everything is nicely wrapped and wired to give it some interesting movement and direction. So it's ready for the winter, and when everything will be in position, this might be a nice tree. So I think it's important to make this grow like a real deciduous tree, so always make your branches going to the top. This is a little heavy maybe, so because I have a bud here, one there, I can surely get rid of a terminal bud. And that concludes the work for today, so I think it's okay. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.